Oh, good morning, my sons.
Good morning, Sensei.
What's up?
Every ninja's day should start with a healthy breakfast. It fills me with pride to see you boys together again. If anyone needs me, I'll be watching my stories.
Hothead. Splinter Jr. Cody is going to break up with Donna. I just know it.
We interrupt the Gilmore Girls for this special news report.
Hey everybody, 2 bits of information came out right after we finished recording, so I wanted to make sure I included them. First is that Playmates San Diego Comic-Con exclusive Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles action figures will be available at the show for $30 each, based on the new TV series debuting this fall. Each figure is individually sculpted and styled based on the TV series, with heights ranging from 4.25 inches to 4.75 inches for Raph, and Donnie and Leo are both at 4.5 inches tall. Each figure will have 13 points of articulation and come with their own core accessories. Big thing to note here is that these figures will feature exclusive additional decoration and details on the figures and accessories. So basically, they're going to take the action figures that will be coming to stores later this fall, and we'll have more detail on the paint jobs on the figures. Speaking of Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, it was originally slated to be debuting in September. The entire series is. However, there will be a, if you want to call it a sneak peek, whatever, it's the debut, is actually going to be Friday, July 20th at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time in the United States. It's going to be following the Nickelodeon's Kids' Choice Awards, which is going to be at 8 p.m. So immediately following at 9:30 p.m. will be the debut of Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. The very first episode is going to be called Mystic Mayhem, and the Turtles are going to discover for the first time that, and this is a quote, that they are not the weirdest things in New York. Well, yes, I can go ahead and tell you right now that that's absolutely true. So, all right, that's it. Let's get on with the show.
Okay, that was just weird. I mean, first the foot, then that hideous monster.
Yeah, it looked like your mom, dude.
Yeah, that would make her your mom too, doofus.
Yeah, whatever.
All right, you all set?
Yeah, let's do it. I got the show notes up. I can make it up as I go.
All right, and you are hosting.
Why? No. Why am I hosting?
Live from the sewers, this is the Turtle Power Podcast.
This is your audio source for all the news, reviews, and insight into the world of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
God, I love being a turtle!
Now join your hosts, Ryan, Alex,
Awesome!
and Darby.
Bossa Nova!
Bossa Nova?
Chevy Nova? Excellent!
Now it's time for the Turtle Power Podcast.
Oh, man. You think after like 6 years or something we'd update that opening, but it doesn't seem to be happening anytime soon. Never happening, huh? All right. Well, before, we got everything set up, ready to go. I told Ryan I just took my first glimpse at the show notes, and then he just goes, oh, by the way, you're totally hosting, and then started playing the theme. So thanks for throwing me under that bus, Ryan. We are a turtle down today, sadly. Alex is out. What was it this time? Was it family or something else?
No, he had the emergency tooth removal, right? Wasn't it?
Oh, Jesus Christ. Something like, okay, dental stuff.
It was remember? Because he couldn't talk.
Yeah, well, I never had an issue with him not being able to talk, but that shame. That was a shame. All right, Alex. Well, we'll miss you. We'll miss you on this show. I know you got fans out there that only tune in for you. God help them. But we'll get well soon, bud. I should point out, I used to have dental problems all the time, and then when I stopped going to the dentist was when I stopped having dental problems. So I think it's a sham.
You had braces.
Right.
You had braces back in the day.
Yeah. I had braces,
you had the rubber
and then
bands?
my wisdom teeth had all that pulled, and then I stopped going to the dentist, and I stopped having issues. I'm just saying.
I'm not going to argue. I'm not. It's been a minute since I've been to the dentist too. I need to go ahead and do that. But
you got to set you have a child now, man. You got to set examples for them.
Yeah, I do.
Anyway, all right. Well, I guess we got some stuff we're going to get into. Ryan has literally just sent me this giant pages and pages of stuff we want to get into.
It's only 10
you started
pages.
off
only
with
10
another
pages.
TMNT podcast. What's up with that?
Oh, I just I always like to give a shout out to all the different TMNT podcasts out there because we don't unfortunately we don't get to do this as often as we'd like. So I know there's a lot of other TMNT podcasts out there that help fill in the gaps in between the old grandpas here, the longest running Turtle podcast. But there's a lot of good
we're
ones.
Like up there with we're like Splinter age now in terms of podcast age. It's crazy.
We might be think 2003 era like original Shredder old. Like we're like ancient. We've been.
So you could cut our heads off and we'll still live. Huh?
Yeah,
I'm okay with that.
Yeah. We're actually not human. We're actually Utroms, and we just operate. We just. I mean. We are the Krang. The Krang thinks that the Krang is. Oh no, that's a different one. Oh gosh, there's two. It's hard to keep track. It's so confusing. It's so confusing.
I wonder if they're going to do anything with the rise of the TMNT. If they're going to be any Utrom.
That's
Krang,
a good question. Or if they'll call him Krang or if they'll call him Utroms.
I don't know, but we'll get into that later. But some quick shout outs. Our boys, our friends at Turtle Soup, Turtle Flakes, Turtle Power Pod. I know I've retweeted you guys quite often in the past few, since we haven't been able to do this as much as we'd like to. Thank you so much for everything you do. Also, Tiger Claw. I can't go an entire episode without mentioning or giving a shout out to Tiger Claw, because Tiger Claw is just always on top of things.
Yes, that is true.
If we actually got paid for this, I would feel guilty that he didn't. But Tiger Claw.
We'd have to shoot him a few bucks. I think we would have to.
At least some of our merch that we get all the time, because we get all these amazing kickbacks from hosting the longest running. I'm just drowning in all the swag that we get.
I was excited. I was excited to hear that Nickelodeon is sponsoring other podcasts now, just not ours.
Just not ours.
Yeah, just not ours.
Probably for good reason. That's fine. That's
wrestling
fine.
ones,
but
because there's a lot of wrestling.
Totally
the Stone Cold podcast. They were advertising in there, so that's cool.
I understand. Stone Cold is very kid friendly.
It's very kid friendly. He's got
anyway. But we're drowning in all this swag. Father's Day was recent. Ryan wanted to talk about some new acquisitions that we've gotten, or he's gotten especially. Yeah. What's up with you? You got a new shirt for Father's Day? Was your first Father's Day as a father?
Second Father's Day, technically, because she was just a wee little child, a wee little babe.
I find it hard to believe anything that's half you is wee little anything.
Oh, she's a gigantic baby, no doubt about it. We for the 4th of July. We were over at some friend's house here in Orlando, and their kid is 9 months older than our baby, and our baby was taller than she was. So, and our baby's only 16 months old, so she's way beyond her. She's like 95th percentile in height. Anyway. But yeah, I got a nice Father's Day T-shirt this year. It's a Ninja Turtles themed one. It's on Amazon. It says, "Daddy, you are as brave as Leonardo, as smart as Donatello, as strong as Raphael, and as crazy as Michelangelo. You are my favorite ninja." So It was very,
Isn't
very
that
nice.
sweet?
Warmed the cold, dead cockles of my heart. So.
Isn't Ryan's perfect life, picket fence life, just so heartwarming?
Look,
for
it's
everyone?
vinyl, okay? It's white vinyl fencing. It's not picket because the HOA does not allow us to have the white picket, okay?
Oh, I have an HOA.
Actually, that's not a good thing. I'm so done
I know
with
it's
our
not a
HOA.
good
It's
thing. I feel
terrible.
so bad for
Ugh.
people that have those.
Are you on the beach
It's
right
what it
now?
is.
Are you down on the beach? Are you recording on the beach right now? Where are you at?
Yeah, I'm on the beach right
Yeah,
now.
cool.
I'm on the beach.
Hey, if we're not the world's best Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles podcast, we are definitely the best Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles podcast on Fort Myers Beach.
Well, yeah.
We've got that covered.
I don't know, man. There's like a few other guys on here that could easily trounce us in quality and quantity, but we just won't push them like we do with Turtle Flakes and Turtle Soup, because those guys are awesome.
Turtle Soup, yeah. I mean, they're Central Florida, too. They're over in, like, Lakeland area, so I don't know if we can even claim Central Florida.
Now that I'm back in Florida, maybe we'll have to do
we do need to do something. Yeah, we
might
do
have
need
to do some collaborative stuff here in the future.
I say we all meet in Tampa, we are in Brandon, and we get some Portillos, and yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, we should.
Well, I mean, I didn't get anything for Father's Day because my illegitimate child's out there somewhere, maybe. I don't know. Kevin Eastman congratulated me on it, so that's something I'll always have. Thanks for that, Ryan. But I did notice, I just wanted to point this out. A cousin of mine has, like, I want to say, like a 2-year-old daughter now. She's up walking around. They go on hikes and stuff. And he's been posting all these pictures of her on Facebook lately, and she's rocking TMNT gear now.
Oh, very nice.
So good to see that, like, another generation of Turtle fans is happening. Now, if only they could get the damn movies right.
Yes, that'll be our topic of the show. If you haven't heard, we got another one coming. But yeah, let's get into some. Before we get into the meat of the show, let's get into some quick news bites here.
The authorities won't talk to us, but they might talk to a TV news reporter. How do I look?
Great.
General, April O'Neil, Channel 9 News. Channel 6 News.
So, what's with the getup? You a news reporter?
In another lifetime, maybe.
This is April O'Neil, Channel 6 News.
April O'Neil, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
This is April O'Neil, Channel 3 News.
Go for it. You sound horrible right now. You might have to redo a mic check or something.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Let's see here. John Cena dressed up as Leonardo for the Nickelodeon Kids' Choice Awards. Not quite sure why he did that. Just another example of the WWE and the TMNT crossing paths. Ninja Turtles, Michelangelo teaches you the art of making pizza making. This is a video that Nerdist came out with. So check, as always, folks, check out the show notes. We got an article. Actually, this is a YouTube video. It's called Film Theory. Could the TMNT exist? And as silly as that sounds,
Is that the same guy that does Game Theory?
I'm not sure. Might be. It basically.
Oh, it's totally him. It's totally the Game Theory guy.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So
now that I've listened to it for 5 seconds, I realize it's totally the Game Theory, which is fine.
Yeah. It's basically it's the premise of, like, if you're watching, the movies and the comics and all the different versions of Turtles, is there a scenario where you could actually, have them all kind of really exist? So it's pretty entertaining. So check that out. Randall Lobb, old guest on the show here, long time ago. Man, that was maybe our first year. It could have been. That was a while back.
He was one of our big gets early on.
Yeah, he was one of the guys behind the Turtle Power documentary. He has a new series on YouTube that he's doing, and his first episode is on the TMNT. So make sure you check that out. Wanted to mention this, an article in.
Really quick though, that Randall Lobb thing. Yeah. The channel is Faux Pop Media.
Yes, Faux Pop. Yeah.
Pop's Culture is apparently the name of the show. Episode 1, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. It's under Faux Pop Media. FAUX Pop.
That's right. Yeah, that's like their production house that they have there. I think that's the same one that they used for the documentary, the Turtles documentary. But yeah, thanks for pointing that out. I did want to mention this too. A article over on TeenageMutantNinjaTurtles.com. Our friends over there, they have they post articles all the time. But there was one I wanted to make sure everybody check out. It's called "The Polarization of TMNT Fandom," and I think it's a very interesting read. There's a lot of issues going on in fandom throughout all the different franchises, especially Star Wars right now.
Oh God, no!
Yeah,
just no.
Well,
anyway,
I feel terrible
we won't get into that.
Yeah, I just feel really bad for a lot of the content creators out there that are really being treated poorly by. Yes.
Well, they brought it on themselves by putting out such shitty content, but I digress.
You're not helping. You're not helping. So anyway, so just check that out. So and just everybody out there, just be nice. Be nice to people. Be a good person. That's what the Turtles would want you to do.
Except for Raph, that guy's a huge asshole.
He probably wouldn't care what you did.
That's Raph's MO, right? Like, guys, we just got to be nice. We got to be friendly. We just got to be friendly to each other, and don't be mad at all. Woosah.
That's actually more like Nickelodeon Mikey. He's very, well, that's Greg Sipes,
Yeah, that's just Greg Sipes.
It's just Greg Sipes. Yeah. I guess he was just on an episode of Talking Tunes with Rob Paulson, so I need.
Yeah, I saw one with him. And Sean Astin was also on a somewhat recent. As well.
Yeah. Hey, we've got Comic-Con coming up. San Diego, the big one, San Diego Comic-Con's coming up in just a couple weeks here, and as always, Turtles are once again featured. There's going to be 2 panels, a comics panel that's going to be on Thursday, July 19th from 11 to 12. It's going to be in room 28, Delta Echo. And it's called Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles for All. It's going to be highlighting primarily the IDW comics. So, I assume Kevin's going to be there, and probably Tom Waltz and probably Bobby Curnow, maybe some of the artists. Actually, Tom Waltz just followed us on Twitter, so we need to touch base with him. We need to get the third of the trifecta on here for the IDW series. Yeah, so there's going to be several different exclusive comics available for purchase at the show. We've got a link in the show notes over to Rich's TMNT-NinjaTurtles.com. Always the best spot for Turtles comics news there. But
it looks like, according to this article, though, they're mostly fixated on Rise of the TMNT.
Yeah,
they're apparently going to have the whole voice cast will be there.
Yeah,
they're going to have panels and such. So this is all about Rise of the TMNT.
So Rise of the TMNT, that's going to be 1:45 to 2:45 p.m. same day. So Thursday apparently is going to be the Turtles Day. And that's going to be it's going to be called TMNT Reboot Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, room 6A. And yeah, it's going to be a whole Nickelodeon panel, but as a big part of it will obviously be highlighting the new Ninja Turtles series. You see, obviously they'll have voice cast and a sneak peek of the upcoming series. They're also going to have some interactive stuff there, a virtual reality experience. I actually saw at VidCon they had some stuff there. Do you know what VidCon is? It's like
I've heard of it.
Yeah, it's like a YouTubers convention, basically.
Gotcha.
And so the Nickelodeon had a thing there that they were, getting a bunch of YouTubers to come by and talk about Ninja Turtles and get some free publicity, I guess.
Nice.
Yeah. So anyway, if any of our listeners make it out to Comic-Con, let us know how it goes. Let's see. Before we finish off here, some last minute quick touch things here. Kevin Eastman news. He did this cool. Well, I guess he added to this really cool mural out in San Bernardino. It's actually at the McDonald's Museum because Did you see the movie The Founder on Netflix? Have you seen
I
that?
haven't, but everyone keeps telling me to check it out.
You should check it out. Yeah, it's pretty interesting because the original McDonald's is in San Bernardino, and they have a museum there now. And apparently, there's a mural on the outside, and one of Kevin's friends was in charge of the mural, and then he asked Kevin to come down and help put some finishing touches, which is basically add the turtles to the mural. So, and then I want to mention 3 articles over on Kevin's website. There's one early Turtles, one called Turtles Take Time, and then another one, a TMNT Media Gallery. There is just a wealth of really cool content on his website. So definitely check that out. And lastly, I want to say congrats to Mark Pellegrini over at TMNT Entity for celebrating his 10th anniversary of covering the TMNT. So I've definitely visited his page plenty of times, and so congrats. That is quite the accomplishment. We've been doing this 6 years, something like that.
Yeah, give or take.
Yep. So we got a couple more years to get to 10. So but congrats, Mark, and keep it up. So with that, let's get into video game news.
Wait, what? We actually have video game news. What's up with that?
Well, it's somewhat news. There's so I kind of went down the rabbit hole.
The music down.
Yeah, I went down the rabbit. Right. I went down the rabbit hole of speedrunning for Ninja Turtle games, and I think what are the 2 world records for speedruns for both the very original TMNT game on the NES and also for Turtles in Time on the Super Nintendo.
Well, this regular one, 2 things. One, it was done fairly recently, as in it was done this year. We just haven't been able to do as many episodes as we'd like.
Yeah.
And 2, it just really upsets me that something that still gives me PTSD flashbacks to this day can be easily trounced upon in 17 minutes and 17 seconds.
It's unbelievable. Definitely, I cannot I cannot suggest enough to just check out these videos. You can kind of skip through them if you want, if you don't want to stay for the whole thing, but it's fascinating to watch these players just fly through these games. It's truly amazing. I mean, back in the day, you and I got through Turtles in Time. We got pretty good at it to where we could fly through it pretty quickly, but I don't think we ever got down to anywhere near 18 seconds. I mean,
not in 18 minutes. We could do that.
Yeah, 18 minutes. Yeah. I mean, we probably got it to probably less than a half an hour. We could go through the whole game, I would say.
Yeah.
Because well, back in the day, you would just you'd play it, and then you were like, "Cool, let's do it again," and you just play it again.
The magical world before computers existed and cell phones were a thing. You actually had to go over to your friend's house and like, "What do you want to do?" "Well, let's play Ninja Turtles." "Okay, we just beat it. What do you want to do?" "Let's beat it again."
Yep, pretty much.
Why the hell not?
So definitely recommend checking these out on YouTube. Links in the show notes. And I wanted to mention this too. Has any of our this is a shout out to all the listeners, and have any of you guys?
All both of you.
Yeah, Larry, you still listening? Okay. Larry, have you seen or played the Raw Thrills Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game yet? Because it's currently being shipped to arcades around the country, I think around the world. So if you have a local arcade and you haven't seen it yet, give them a call and let them know that you want it. Because if you remember, I got to play basically the beta version of the game and it's fantastic. We were talking about Turtles in Time. I mean, this is basically a modern version of that. There's so many throwbacks. And so I've been calling here in Orlando. We have a Dave & Buster's, and I've been calling like every 2 weeks, basically to ask if they've got the game yet. The last time I called, this was basically how the conversation went. Hi. I'm just calling to ask if you guys have the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles video game by Raw Thrills. Oh, let me check. Hold on. And then the music plays, and then I pick back up. Oh no, we don't got it yet. Oh, okay. Well, thank you. I'll call back in a couple weeks. We got that new Jurassic Park game. Oh.
Yeah, I don't care.
Oh, okay. That's cool. Yeah, it's got VR. Oh.
Yeah, I don't care.
All right. Well, cool story. All right. Well, I'm gonna go now. All right. Well, see you later. So just that is definitely what the good folks at Raw Thrills, that's what they recommended to do. Just give them calls and let them know that you want it. So that's kind of the best way to let them know.
It looks a lot like it has the same feel as Turtles in Time, but obviously the graphics here are very much 2012 series. Obviously that's what it's based off of.
Yeah,
but
and some thumping bass.
It reminds me of the old X-Men game where the old Ninja Turtle game where each joystick was the actual turtle.
Yes.
So yeah, it just reminds me of that. I'm going to be playing on that Donnie button. There's going to be a line for that Donnie button, though. That's the thing, because he's clearly the best turtle to play at. It's like at Disney World where they have like the line for the rides, but then they have the single riders line. Like Raphael's going to be the single riders line. Like, if you really want to play this, you can play as Raph. But I mean, the Donatello line's like 3 hours, but you can play as Raph right now, and it's like, I don't know, man.
I'm trying to remember if there felt like there was
like 2 hours long.
I'm trying to remember if there felt like there was any like discernible difference between the characters while you were playing. I know we've definitely encountered that in games previous. Donatello's always been the best one in previous games because he has the longest.
Right, but then he gets nerfed in all of the recent games where it's like, okay, he has the biggest reach, but he's the slowest now. And it's like, oh, screw you. Just, I hate that.
Or maybe he has a soft shell. Segue.
Yes. Painful segue, but still a segue. You're going to have to update that one, actually, here pretty soon. Now that we actually have a theme song for the new series.
That's very true. Yes. Let's play that here in a second. Before we do that, I do want to mention, it's actually really interesting. We have a little bit of news for every single animated series that there's ever been. So for the 87 series, there's rumors that they're going to be re-releasing the complete series again. If you weren't like me and you collected each disc individually, or if you were smart like Darby and waited for them to release the whole thing all at once,
damn right.
You'll have another chance. Apparently, that there's some rumors that they're going to be re-releasing the entire 87 series once again.
But you can't click on the link in the show notes because it doesn't work anymore.
You're right. Oh, wow. Yeah, the website is actually going, like, they actually are shutting down. Wow.
The website shut down, but they're putting everything exclusively on social media now. So TV shows on demand, on DVD.com now is just TV shows on DVD.com on Twitter now.
Wow.
Like, that's where you have to go to get it.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, that just happened. Between Ryan putting that up in the show notes and us doing this episode, that literally just happened. Good thing I clicked on that link beforehand.
Yeah. All right. Well, see you later.
Yep.
So in 2003, not really news, but the Sewer Den, another friend on Twitter said he had tweeted this out. There was some TMNT shorts that were recently rediscovered. These are based on the 2003 series. And they're just basically it's all the same voice actors and everything. They're basically little shorts, and nobody's, I guess, really entirely sure where they came from or what they're from, but they're entertaining. So check them out.
Yeah, they're about a minute long each. There's about 20 of them, back to 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 back, and they're actually really good. Like they are. They're really good. There's just. It's I'm getting nostalgia feelings from watching it because I love the 2003 series. As I've gotten older, I realized just how much I really do appreciate that series more than the other ones, sadly. But it's just like, oh God, I remember when Donatello sounded like that, and when Michelangelo sounded like that, and when they all have, they all kind of, I don't know. I'm trying to think when Donatello didn't have a giant gap in his teeth. Even though I think Mikey has that now, but
yeah, well.
I don't know. Back when it was more simplistic, back when the character designs were simpler, and just like, hey, we need to differentiate them. Okay, we'll make them different shades of green. That'll work.
Yeah. You don't have to give certain ones like tattoos and
exactly.
Yeah, well, teach his own.
We'll get into that too, though.
In a very similar situation with the 2012 series, there's this TMNT Tales from the Sewer Lair quote-unquote movie, and it's basically kind of a similar situation where it's basically clips. And I think these were from maybe some sort of like webcomic, or it was a the internet is screaming at me right now, by the way, for not remembering.
It was like an interactive webcomic.
Yeah, it was something like that. Yeah. So somebody took them all and stitched them all together and made a little movie out of it. So, and this is starring the 2012 cast. So
the original 2012 cast. You actually have Jason Biggs as the voice of Leo, because this video is from 2013 on YouTube. We're just giving it some love because we missed the original 2K. I missed the original 2K. I never bought into Seth Green as Leo. I'm sorry.
Wow.
I'm sorry. I just like Seth Green. I'm not knocking his voice talents at all. Like, he voices many characters on Family Guys and Robot Chicken, but I just felt like he was voicing Leo as himself. Like, he made like no attempt to sound different. So I just could not get over that.
Too much Seth Green.
Too much Seth Green, and like, I don't know, maybe his voice was a little too deep to be like a teenager's quote unquote, even though he plays Chris Griffin. I get it. Right. But like, I don't know. I just felt like Jason Biggs sounded more like a teenager than Seth Green did.
That's fair enough.
I wish Alex was here to tell me to go screw myself, because Seth Green plays me to Leo, but I'm not the Leo guy, so that's just what you're gonna get. And I had the best voice actor voice my turtle, so I'm genuinely okay with it.
Yeah, you did. I can't argue that. I can't argue that at all.
It's your boy too, just 30 years ago.
Just 30 years ago. Yeah. This, man, we're getting old. Rise of the TMNT news. So,
got a lot of that, actually.
Yeah, these a lot of videos, a lot of YouTube videos. So basically, Nickelodeon, as part of their, I guess, marketing for the series, just kind of getting people ready for it. Actually, it's interesting because now that I'm remembering, I mentioned that VidCon video. One of the questions they asked all the YouTubers was, what do you think about the new art style? And of course they were, they're all going to say nice things about it, which is funny because that was, one of the biggest backlashes on the internet, which we did not have a problem with. We were, we said, we'll wait and see. We'll, give them the benefit of the doubt at the beginning. That's not the most important part of the series, of what the series is going to be. There's many different things that play into the quality of this upcoming series, and that's only one part of it. And it's art, at the end of the day, it's art. So, but that being said, so they are really pushing this series which is interesting because it's only July and it's going to be coming in September. So we've still got a couple months until we get there. But we've got a bunch of different videos in the show notes to check out, including the new theme song. So should we play it?
Yeah, let's play it. I don't think will we get copyright infringed? Who cares? Just do it.
Wow. What'd you think? What do you think?
Very to the point.
Yeah.
Very to the point. I like that they're obviously hearkening back to the 87 series as much as the 2K12 did series, I guess.
It's almost like a techno version or a like EDM version.
Well, that's what all the kids listen to now. They went from hip-hop to stupid music.
Hey, I listen to trance. Trance is good. Listen to Armin van Buuren.
If you say so. Yeah. Can I buy some pot off of you?
No.
Anyway, I get it. I mean, it's clearly they just redid the, as much as the 2K12 series did. They just kind of updated it for the new generation, I guess. Like I said, very to the point. Like, they literally covered what all four Turtles were about in about 8 seconds.
Yeah. It feels like it's rushed. But
it's incredibly rushed.
Yeah, it's really fast. It's really quick. But I'm guessing, based on the animation that we've seen, the different clips that we've seen, it feels like it's going to fit with the series. Because the series itself looks very fast and very bright colors and just really, a lot going on the screen. So it seems like it's actually going to fit well.
Just maybe not much going on in the story development. Hopefully, I'm wrong about that.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Actually, speaking of story development, we actually kind of got our first almost kind of episode. And what it basically is they took a upcoming comic book and they basically turned it into a animated episode.
Yeah, it's called Comics Come to Life.
Yeah, so Comics Come to Life. It's 2 parts. There's a part 1 and then there's the finale. And so you can check it out. And let's listen in just a little bit here so you can get an idea of what some of the voice actors are going to sound like here.
Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the motion comic. New York City, midnight.
This has got to be the fastest a turtle has ever gone.
Except for the day there was free pizza at April's school.
This quadcopter is definitely the wildest ride I've ever been on.
April?
I ride the New York subway.
When you're an adrenaline enthusiast like me, you get used to this.
I know it's my skateboard, but next time, can Raph be on the bottom?
And that was
Meat Sweats, former celebrity chef turned potbelly mutant menace, still British, currently stealing the food truck from April's job, where she was just making a pizza for the turtles.
Get lost, greenies! This truck's me new kitchen!
And that was Meat Sweats.
Yeah, who's British but says me new kitchen, as if that's something British people say.
There was... I'm going to have to look it up.
I'm not happy. I'm not happy.
What are you not happy about? What are you thinking?
This is the wildest ride I've ever been on, and I take the New York subway. Fastest of turtles ever gone. I know this is my skateboard, but can Raph be on the bottom?
So the writing, I'm not going to.
It hurts.
I don't want to judge the writing because this was a one-off thing. I'm looking. I was trying to find the voice actor for Meat Sweats, but I cannot find who that is. So
it's too much to shell out for Gordon Ramsay to play Meat Sweats. I would have been told. But like, now I'm really upset because I'm going to watch this.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
I just hope the writing's better because it wasn't good.
I'm going to assume the writing will be better than that. I'm going to assume that. I'm going to try to give it the benefit of the doubt. It's definitely going to take some getting used to for the voices for me. I mean, we'll see.
Like, I should be happy that Donatello has like cool gear and can essentially fly. Like, I should be happy about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm not. Is that weird? I'm just not.
No, I don't think it's weird. I think I almost wonder if this is going to help them or hurt them in their efforts to.
Just harken back to what I was saying earlier about the character designs. Like, to me, simpler was better.
Yeah. Well, remember we're the old grandpas. Remember though, right?
Unreal stuff. Well, it's just, I get it. Donatello made unreal stuff, like with crap he just found in the sewers. I get that, but Turtles Forever made fun of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, maybe that's another reason why I like the 2K3 Turtles a lot. Just because that Donatello was like, "Are you serious? That it's a flashlight. It's not an interdimensional portal." He's like, "No, it totally is. Watch this. Boom." Now we're in the
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. That is a good point.
Give or take, as a kid, I guess I would be more into the spasticness of that, but as an adult, I'm just.
I'm okay. So that's a good point. I am definitely getting a young kids show feel out of what I've seen so far. Would you agree with that?
Right. Yeah.
Like, this seems like the demo for this show seems the youngest of any animated Turtles show so far. Would you?
Yeah, I'd probably agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that also just reminds me of when I said this just reeks of Teen Titans Go.
Sure, right. Yeah, I remember you said that.
Which I don't want it to be.
Yeah. Yeah. Unfortunately, we're not making the calls there at Nickelodeon, so.
I know, but it's like okay, look, I'm just going to point this out. We have all these videos in our show notes every time, and I'm looking through some of them right now, and in a lot of these, people are wearing Ninja Turtle shirts, as they should be. Because
I know you're going with this, yep.
Right, but you know what the Turtles look like on these shirts?
87.
They look like, not even just 87, they just look like Ninja Turtles with headbands and weapons. None of the glitz, none of the like spray paint or the tattoos or whatever it is Mikey's doing to himself. None of the glowing weapons. None of the, quadcopter shell. Like, they seem. It seems to be the stuff that goes on shirts that works are the simpler designs.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe I'm just wrong. I have no fashion sense. Maybe I'm wrong about that. Maybe I'm thinking about it.
Hey,
I don't know.
Yeah, you gotta dress a certain way, for the news. You can't mess around too much with your style when you're doing new stuff, right? That's how it works.
Dude, I'm behind the scenes. I can just wear a t-shirt and jeans if I want.
I'm trying to help you out, man.
Yeah, I know you are, but that just goes back to my "I have no style" comment. So it only helps me prove my point more.
Probably
doesn't matter, but it's fine. To each their own. I'm just going by what I'm seeing in a lot of these videos of people wearing Ninja Turtle outfits, and my cousin's very young daughter wearing Ninja Turtle stuff. It's the 87 one. It's simple.
Yeah.
Wow.
I still see more 87 Turtles gear than any other version. Just out and about. I mean, just like not so much action figures because the action figures are whatever is they're pushing, but everything else: t-shirts, shower curtains, bedding.
This sounds like a great segue into
From Playmates.
All right, we're getting into collecting news. We've got a lot of stuff in here. So, Ryan, apparently you came across a TMNT Casey Jones hockey mask review. What's up with this?
Yeah, so I think I mentioned this guy before in the past, but basically this guy does his own custom collectibles. His name's Chris. He's on YouTube. I've been on a lot of YouTube lately.
Custom Collectibles, also known as Cosplay Chris.
Yeah, so he basically took the NECA Casey Jones mask, which looks awesome, right? It looks fantastic. Well, he did a whole makeover on it, and it looks even more awesome. It looks like it came straight out of the movie after he's done with it. So take a look at that. I mentioned Kevin Eastman's website earlier. And not only does he have some great resources for Turtles history on there, but he's also got things for sale. A lot of comic books, signed stuff, and they've got these pretty sweet hats. And these hats...
I'm not going to lie. I'm digging these hats.
This seems like a hat that you would like. So this is basically... Think the very original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle ever drawn by Kevin, and it's stitched on either a black or a charcoal gray hat, and it's not like centered; it's a little off center. But
I think the charcoal gray one, man. I'm a fan of that one.
And they're only $25. So it's a pretty good price too. So, I'm really digging this hat, and I think I want to get one, but. We'll see.
If I ever become a hat guy because my hairline starts receding, this would definitely be a hat that I rock.
Yeah, you've never really been into hats too much, have you?
No, it's because they make your hairline recede.
Yeah.
Oh, Ryan, speaking of Kevin Eastman's website, you ready for this?
Yes.
Raph the Space Cadet.
Yep.
Signed by Kevin Eastman.
Mm-hmm.
$65.
Oh, that's disappointing.
Why is it disappointing?
Because it should be way more.
Don the Undercover Turtle is also $65.
Oh, the original Don the Undercover Turtle?
The original, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So, yeah, they just
I know there was two versions of
$100.
that. Like one that had like a cloth or one that had like a rubber head or something like that. And so like the one's more common than the other one. But that's all right. That's not so bad.
Considering movie 3, Samurai Dawn is $79, I'll gladly take Undercover Dawn for $65.
I have that. I have all four of them. Let's see here. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Unplugged, HeroClix preview, Bebop, Rocksteady, and Shredder. We've talked about the HeroClix in the past, so got an update on that.
Aren't they like final pop figures, but they look like they're made out of Legos?
But it's part of like a game. There's like a whole game that goes along with it. Yeah.
So they're like amiibos for the Wii U, but they look like they're made out of Legos.
Plastic. Yeah.
Shredder doesn't have a helmet. Tisk tisk.
Yeah.
How do I feel about
that? In related news or unrelated news, let's continue the series. Now it's been a while, but let's recontinue the series of incredibly overpriced Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle statues. You remember some of these from the movies that were coming out? They were several $100.
Like $600.
Yeah. So we've got a new one, Raphael. This is a statue made by Pop Culture Shock Collectibles. It's 21 inches tall, 20 inches in width, 10.5 inches in depth. Raphael, polystone figure. There's a limited edition of 400 and then another limited edition of 250. So I guess 650 altogether. Comes with a certificate of authenticity too, which you gotta have that.
Don't act like this isn't real.
Only $500. So
$500.
But hey, if you buy it now, you'll get it next year. So get that going for you.
I mean, for that much, you could almost get Donatello from Flash Forward, a show that didn't exist. You can almost get that off eBay for that.
yeah. Hey, you know, I guess somebody's buying these things. I guess.
I'm a big fan of these movie ones, though. The NECA movie ones.
Oh man. Okay, so if you were online during these, if you were on Twitter during these few days, so this is the same thing that's been happening for the last several years, where NECA is allowed to. So NECA has a very small Ninja Turtles action figure license, which basically is only at Comic-Con, and only a very small amount of those can be pre-ordered if you're not going to Comic-Con. So basically they put just like for like 3 or 4 days in a row, they'll put on sale on their website a very small amount of whatever it is that they're having that year. And these things went within a minute.
Minutes?
A minute. I mean, they're for a situation where it's very interesting because people are trying to buy something and they get really upset when they can't. They're trying to give their money to a company and they're not allowed to. And all the company can do is say, "Sorry, we would love to sell you more, but we're not allowed to." Something's screwed up with this situation. There's something seriously screwed up with the situation, and it's a licensing thing that Playmates has had for, you know, since the origin of the Turtles. They've had the action figure license, and they ain't gonna give it up, even if NECA makes a far superior product. And
they're never gonna let it down either.
And granted, it's a different product. They are not. NECA's not making the $7.95 action figure. These things are much more expensive, much more detailed,
higher quality,
much higher quality. These are collectibles. Okay, they are action figures, but they are collectibles. Okay, and the fact that
they come in too.
Yeah. Yes. It's a whole thing. So these ones were based on the magnificent 1990 film, and the box is a replica of the VHS box. Oh, warms my heart. And yes, it was fantastic. That's right. And actually, my neighbor over here, Zach Ryder, he actually got a preview box, and so we've got a link to a video he put together of his unboxing and goes through the whole thing.
Well, why don't you go knock on his door and ask to see it?
Would love to. I'm planning on something. That's all I'm going to say. All right. So, So anyway, there's just something screwed up with the whole situation. I mean, people are getting mad, like mad. And because they're not allowed to give their money to somebody for a product.
No, exactly, that they want.
Yeah, that they want. Yeah, and that NECA would love to sell them. So anyway, it's just a weird.
Apparently, in order to get
thing.
these things, you have to be like the longest reigning internet champion of all time. Like, that's what you have to do in order to get.
You had to have your whole PayPal thing already preloaded. There was all these different like strategies that you had to have set up for you to maybe be able to get one. I mean, it was ridiculous. So I was, and it was in the middle of the day. It was like noon Eastern. Or 1 Eastern. I can't remember the time exactly, but it was in the middle of the day, and I'm at work, so I wasn't able to even sniff at one of these things. But yeah. So anyway, hey, if any of our listeners was lucky enough to get one, let us know. Send us some pictures so we can be very jealous of you.
Exactly. Well, I can curse your name and your favorite turtle, even if it's Donnie. No, I could never curse him.
No, come on.
Never mind.
Well, that's all I've got for collecting news.
All right.
So what's next?
Oh, well, come on. Don't you know? The ever-famous, always world-renowned comic book news.
I strike 2 on my way down. Donatello takes out a third with his staff. Already the pudgy ones are starting to panic. Raph loves this stuff. He's not alone.
Why is he narrating? Is he crazy? Hardcore crazy.
I love these guys!
And that right there is just like, just one of the shiniest examples of why I love the 2K3 series so much. I always get a little semi every time you play that clip. I'm just like, oh, it's such a great clip.
Well, you know, it's Peter, and it is at his finest. So,
so good. Anyway, okay. So first of all, what is this? What is this? We got a road trip coming up. Is that what's going on?
So, before we get into all the comics book news, just overall, Turtles comics right now is blowing up. There is so much going on right now in Turtles comics. You know, we've talked so much in the past about, you know, when we did our state of the franchise, right? When we went through all the different aspects and, you know, kind of where they're at. Comics has been a shining example of Turtles since basically since the IDW series started up. I mean, it's been killing it since issue 1, and it just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And right now, there's so much amazing Turtles comics going on right now. It's fascinating. All right, so let's run through this stuff. All right, there is another Bebop and Rocksteady miniseries that's going to be coming out in August. It's going to be a weekly series, so every week in August. So then it'll be 5. So I think whatever is it, Tuesday that the comics come out, Tuesday or Wednesday, whatever it is. So every Tuesday through August, and there's going to be 5 of them. It's going to be Bebop and Rocksteady Hit the Road. This is going to be just like Bebop and Rocksteady Destroy Everything. That was a fantastic miniseries. That's going to be right along those lines. Let's see. What do we got in here? TMNT Macro Series #1. This is going to be for Donatello. Available September 26th. The new macros, so there are going to be several of them. They're going to be setting up each individual turtle for the climactic storyline leading to TMNT 100, IDW's 100, which... Nice. You know, no Turtles. We've talked. We mentioned that when IDW surpassed all other Turtles comics. It's the longest running Turtles comic in history. So TMNT returns to its IDW roots with new spotlights on individual Turtles, but this time they're extra large. So there's going to be 48 pages.
Ooh.
Yeah, of course, Donatello. He understands that more is at stake than his brothers realize. In order to prepare for the coming conflict, Don will aim to repair his relationship with his mentor, Harold, and his malicious robotic counterpart, Metalhead. So,
nice.
Of course, yeah, the whole thing with him and Harold, you know, I was really sad to see, you know, that relationship, kind of fall apart there. That was probably, about last year. So it's really exciting to see that hopefully they can get things on the mend. Dark Horse. This is really, I already pre-ordered this one. Dark Horse is collecting every Usagi Yojimbo TMNT team up into one volume, which is fantastic because I was not looking forward to trying to buy all of those individually because I've got the new one that came out and now I wanted to go back and try to get all these old past ones. Well, thank goodness Dark Horse is releasing them all together, one big volume. That's scheduled to release on September 26th. Only $18 for every single Usagi TMNT team up. Fantastic deal. Rise of the TMNT is going to have its own comic book as well. So basically we talked about earlier in that in those little, what do we call them? Shorts. Comics come to life, right? Motion comics.
Yeah.
So there's going to be a whole series. This is basically picking up where the IDW Turtles Adventures series was. So when the Nick Turtles series stopped, they stopped that line. I guess technically they stopped it earlier than that. But this is basically replacing that. there's going to be a 00 issue that's going to be coming out July 18th, and then issue 1 September 19th. There's going to be a Halloween Comic Fest 2018 issue that's going to be coming out on October 27th, but apparently you can get it early on October 3rd. So they've already got a line of stories ready for that. Teenage Mutant Ninja Cerebi. We mentioned this in our last episode, Cerberus, and the history that the Cerberus character has with the Turtles. So, and we mentioned that they were hinting towards a new TMNT crossover. So, this says meet Rembrandt, Van Gogh, Pollock, and Picasso, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Cerebi. So,
what?
Yeah. So check this out. This is going to be coming July 25th. And goodness gracious, what's next? Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: The Ultimate.
Wait. Going back to the Cerebi. Literally, I clicked on the link, and the first line I saw was Van Gogh disembowels himself for cultural misappropriation.
Yes, that's
and
right.
I'm just like, what?
Yes.
That's what I'm expecting to see.
Yes, it is. Cerebus is a little more, what's the word I'm looking for? Edgy? Let's call it that.
Yeah. And on the cover's brilliant. It's like they're talking about what colors they're going to wear, even though the entire comic is in black and white. And the guy says, one dude picks red and the other one goes, idiot, I pick blue. That makes me the leader. I'm so interested in these guys already.
All right, I'm going to have you read. So if you scroll down further, I'm going to have you read the little description there where it says Rembrandt, Van Gogh, Pollock, and Picasso holding down the...
Rembrandt, Van Gogh, Pollock, Picasso holding down the top 4 places on the Fortune 500 multi-billionaires. Pollock declares the TMNT greater than Jack Kirby. Van Gogh disembowels himself for cultural misappropriation. Francis replaces him. Picasso and Pollock get broken backs. The team reborn as question marks. Okay. 1 bipedal aardvark and 3 guys named Francis. This is great. I'm already hyped for this. All right, I'm not going to read the rest of it because there's a whole paragraph. I just don't want to get into that, but that looks great.
Yeah, this goes into Batvark and the Infernal Tech Service. Hashtag White Lives Don't Matter. There's red state, blue state, dead state, U state. 3D super holographic sensor sound, super Cerebus. They're out there. So
I actually have to check these guys out.
Yeah.
When's this come out? July 25th.
July 25th.
All right.
This is out there, and probably I think it's safe to say this is probably not for children. So yeah. So anyway, so that's coming out. Let's see what's next. Okay, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: The Ultimate Collection Volume 7. So while the TMNT Eastman and Laird's Mirage Studios covers hardcover has been canceled, I am pleased to report that the collection has been incorporated as part of the Ultimate Collection as Volume 7. So the Ultimate Collection has been being released by IDW for a while now. It was one of the first things that they did when they got the rights, was that they came out with the Ultimate Collection Volume 1, which collected Mirage issues. It was like 1 through 12, I think. There's something like that. And then there was Volume 2, Volume 3, 4, 5, and 6. So I have 3, 4, 5, and 6 of the Ultimate Collection. The reason I don't have 1 and 2 is because I have the TMNT Collected Book Volume 1 of 1, which was released by Mirage, and it covers all the same issues that the IDW Ultimate Collection has in its first two volumes. So early Mirage stuff. And by the way, this book, the one that I have is, I'm pretty sure is the very last thing that Mirage ever released. Yeah. So, but I do have 3, 4, 5, and 6, and this is going to be 7. So all the covers from the earliest days of the Mirage Studios in one archival collection, plus pencils, inks, paintings by Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird, including all the original sketches, behind-the-scenes insight, and never-before-seen works made available through the incredible archives of Eastman and Laird. A must-have for Turtle fans and collectors. I've already got mine pre-ordered. Let me just double-check, make sure. Yes, I do. So this is scheduled to be released January 29th. These typically will get delayed at some point, but don't be surprised if it doesn't arrive in January. But nonetheless, I have mine ready and raring to go. So
nice.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that. Want to mention here Pablo Tunica.
It's Tunica.
Tunica.
I don't know.
Tomato. He says he got a nomination for the Russ Manning Award for the work he did on the TMNT Universe series. And he says it's an honor to be nominated with all the other great artists and the immortal Russ Manning name behind it. So, congratulations on the nomination to Pablo. As we close out the comics books news, we always got to go over the current releases. IDW. Okay, there's so much here. This is amazing. There's so much going on right now.
Let's do Cliff Notes version on this.
All right, so IDW ongoing 84 releasing July 25th. Universe 24 is releasing July 18th. Bebop and Rocksteady, we mentioned that's coming out throughout August. We mentioned the IDW Adventures series being replaced by Rise of the TMNT. We've got releases coming in July, September, and October. Nice. Mirage, we just mentioned that. That's the Volume 7 of the Ultimate Collection. Tales of the TMNT Volume 9 is delayed without a new release date, so stay tuned on that. That's Tales of the TMNT Volume 2 from the old Mirage days, which are being collected in Tales of the TMNT Volume 8. 8's out, 9's coming. So, Image, of course, we talked a lot about it on our last episode. The Urban Legends, which is the original Turtles Volume 3. That's coming out right now. We've got the first 2 issues already released. Issue 3 is coming out July 11th. And then, of course, we talked about Body Count as well. That's coming out in August 15th. That's going to be the collected 4 issues of Body Count. This is amazing. We got IDW, we got Mirage, we got Image, we got DC, of course, the Batman TMNT 2. That hardcover is coming out August 8th. All the issues are out, but the hardcover is coming out August 8th. Dark Horse, we mentioned that. Usagi Yojimbo, TMNT, The Complete Collection, September 26th. And Aardvark Vanaheim, Teenage Mutant Ninja Sarabai, releasing July 25th. And lastly, the Archie. This is big news for because I wasn't sure if this was going to happen, but the final original Archie Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is being re-released, Volume 16 trade paperback from being released by IDW, collects the final issues of the Archie TMNT Adventures series 67 through 72. That is scheduled to be released December 11th. This will be the final issues of that, unless the only other chance that they might release more is because there were some seasonal, of course, the Mighty Mutanimals, some April miniseries stuff. So we'll see if they move on to those. But this will finish off the entire 72 issues, which this was the longest running Turtles comic that there was, until IDW surpassed it. So. Yep.
Nice.
I'm looking. I got my issue 1 through 4 right here in front of me. So, did you know that Krang was white? Like his body, the android body Krang was like white and silver in this issue. It's really weird.
No, I always remembered him looking all big and bald, and yeah,
it's really weird. Looking at it now, yeah, very strange. But anyway, that is it for comics book news. Oh man, so much going on, so much coming. It is, we've said it in the past, and we'll say it again. It is. There's always something good going on in Turtles fandom. So if there is, it's a good time to be a Turtles fan.
Yeah, and believe it or not, we actually can bring back a certain section of news that we haven't covered for quite a while.
Oh boy,
you ready for this?
We'll see.
You still have the sound clip somewhere? Or did you get rid of it? I would have gotten rid of it out of protest. But that's me.
Down.
Still have it. Damn, still has it. Yeah, there's actually movie news to talk about.
Yes. So
because yeah. So there's apparently I'm hearing two different stories about two different movies,
two different stories. So if for some reason you'd like to own the 2014 movie, and I'm not going to call it a film, on 4K, if that's what you want to do, hey, now's your chance because it's coming out.
Isn't it great that those are on Blu-ray?
Oh God! You know what you did right there. You know what you did. You went over to Leonardo. You said, "Hey, bro, let me borrow that katana." You walked right over to me and you just stabbed it right into my gut. And then you know what you did? You twisted it just 90 degrees, 90 degrees, and then you took your bow staff and just slapped it across my face.
I need this.
That's what just happened right there. Anyway, so big news that hit the internet. We have another Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie coming, and it's another reboot. It is confirmed. It's another reboot. So so let's get into some details really quick. Okay. Pro, we've got a new writer, so somebody that's totally not associated with the prior films. Con, it's the same producers: Michael Bay, Andrew Form, Brad Fuller. It's the Platinum Dunes guys. Yeah. So pro and con. I'm gonna say here's a potential pro. Okay. Look at Spider-Man. First version of Spider-Man movies came out, and you're like, oh, okay, this is pretty good, right? As we did with our Turtles, our first series of Turtles, right? And then the second ones came out, and everyone was like, nah, I don't really like this. And that's definitely what happened here. And then the third one came out, and they've nailed Spider-Man.
Is that what's going on?
What I'm saying is that there's a chance that they might get it right the third time.
No, as long as Bay's there, no.
Yeah, you might get a point there, but I'm trying to say
Marvel/Disney didn't buy the Ninja Turtles and decided to make a movie out of it. Okay,
that is a very good point.
In fact, we've already discussed if Marvel/Disney ever bought the Ninja Turtles, I want an adult-oriented Netflix show like they did with Daredevil. Yeah, that's what I want.
Yeah, so we've got the exclusive news here from Hollywood Reporter. There's also another article by Hollywood Reporter, which the title is "Can Michael Bay Make a Great Ninja Turtles Movie?" And this is a bit of a large article here. It's by Richard Newby. That's funny. That's his last name, Newby. So he basically he goes down the whole gambit of, what went wrong with the prior films, what could they do to get it right. They talk about the X-Men, they talk about Spider-Man, they talk about the Dark Knight and Daredevil. They talk about the Marvel Cinematic Universe. He goes through all of this stuff. He talks about, that they've potentially turned things around on the Transformers, with the release of Bumblebee. So
they haven't.
Basically, what he's saying is that also one big difference between the Paramount that released the prior to and the Paramount now is that Paramount has a new head in charge there. So that...
Yeah, and they're going to tell Michael Bay what to do.
Well, I mean... I guess they're paying for it, so it's going to be interesting to see what they can do. I have to believe that they saw what happened with the prior to, and they are looking at that and be like, okay, what went wrong here?
Everything.
Okay, and what should we not do again? You know what I mean? Like they
everything they did.
Yes, exactly.
Just don't do it.
Yes. So that's as common sense as it gets, right? So I have to believe that they are taking a look at this, taking a look at themselves, and figuring out what they need to do going forward. And that's why I'm actually really happy that it is a reboot. Because they're able to say, to cut their losses on the...
But why does it have to be a reboot? Why can't they just do another movie just better?
Because...
the 2007 movie wasn't a reboot. It was just a movie.
No, that's true. But that was in the cinematic universe of the 3 live-action movies.
Yeah, but you don't know that until the very end of the movie.
That's true.
When he put the... it was like a callback. But it was like, They did their own thing with the 2007 movie, and it was great.
Yeah. Now that might happen here. That might be. Think of.
But not if it's going to be a reboot, because then I just don't want another origin story.
Okay.
We know
Yes.
the origin
and
story.
think about what they did with Homecoming with Spider-Man. Right. That was not that was a reboot, but it was not an origin story. Right. They're like, okay, you get it. This is a kid. He got bit by a spider. He has superpowers now. We're all good. Okay, let's move on. And they can totally do that with the Turtles here. They y'all know the story. They're turtles. They do their things. They like ninja. They like pizza. Let's do a story now. They don't have to start from scratch with the whole origin story. They definitely don't need to do that. And I have to think that they are looking at that. Like it's. It's right in front of them. This is not rocket science. You know what I mean?
It was right in front of them after the first movie, but they still went ahead with the second movie.
Well, I mean, that first movie was set up for failure. It was set up for failure with the original script, which we went through that thing with a fine-tooth comb. Yeah. That movie was set up for failure.
But you know what the funny thing is about that original movie, Ryan? I remember more from that fake or that leak script that you read us than I do the actual Ninja Turtle movie.
Because
I still laugh about Leonardo actually holding up an unconscious Michelangelo as a bullet shield.
Yeah.
I still laugh at that, but I don't really remember anything from the first movie except they went sliding down a mountain and you can travel anywhere in the entire state of New York by sewer, apparently.
You're straight from the snowy tops just outside of New York City, right?
Yeah, exactly.
The snowy mountaintops of New York City.
Yeah.
And that's...
and I know this, Ryan. Yeah. They're going to take out every ounce of blood, even if it kills them.
That was weird. What I loved about that was I didn't even catch that until you brought it up in our review. In our review, you brought it up, and I was like, "Oh my God, you're right."
You did say that. No, I know. Okay, like the only real scene that I liked from the from the first movie, quote unquote, was the elevator. That's probably it.
That is the only good scene in the entire movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is
exactly
okay. I won't be dismissive. That was the only part of that movie that I enjoyed. Okay.
Well, the adrenaline was funny too, but that's it. That's all I got.
Yeah. So
because
the reason
even
why
if you pump somebody full of adrenaline, if they're missing half of their blood, not going to work.
Dude, you can't use your brain with that movie. You just can't. You have to shut your brain off. That's the only way that movie works.
But you can drain out all of their blood, even if it kills them.
Okay. The reason why you remember the leaked script, the Blue Door script, more, is because even though that is the movie that caused, or that script is what caused all the controversy, that would have been a better movie.
Even if they were aliens.
Even if they were aliens. Because it made sense. It had a storyline that flowed, that made sense. There was characters that were defined, and it had a whole storyline, and it moved from point A to point B to point C to point D, and it moved all the way to the end. The decisions that were made in it are, with it basically being the Casey and April movie that were featuring the Ninja Turtles. I mean, that's kind of what we ended up getting, except it was just the April movie featuring the Turtles.
Yeah, it was just April and Vernon. You'll get Casey in the sequel.
Your hopes and dreams, Casey.
Yeah. He has dreams and aspirations.
Dreams and aspirations. That's what it was. Yeah. Yeah, that's a deep cut there. But that script made sense, though. It flowed. It went from the beginning all the way to the end. There was a storyline, and it made sense. What we ended up getting was a chopped up movie where they threw in some extra scenes that didn't make sense, and the entire storyline was riddled with plot holes more than a shotgun.
And they legitimately had to reshoot scenes to include Shredder. Because at first, it was going to be that dude was Shredder, and then when everyone was pissed off that
Colonel Schrader.
Yeah, that Schrader was a white dude and not even Japanese. It's like, oh, we actually need to maybe do some reshoots where there's some menacing figure in a shadow. Yeah, no, that's totally Shredder.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which was not the Shredder that was in the next movie. Not even close.
No, that was a gullible Shredder that instantly trusted Krang without any cause or reason to, and then was surprised when he got screwed over at the end.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. You know what's funny, Ryan? So we're reading this article, Comic Book Resources, about how the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movies can get back on track. It's a brilliant article. I read it. I skimmed over it. It made some good points. One of my favorites was actually what I've been bringing up throughout this entire episode about simplicity.
Yeah.
Okay. I was thinking about the simplicity, and it talks about fight choreography.
Yep.
Have better fight choreography. I remember, and I have a better fondness for a scene in the first movie when the turtles first show up for a fight. You don't even see them. Raph throws his sigh at the lights. Lights go out. You hear them, and then the police show up. All the bad guys are beaten up, and there's April just there amongst beaten up dudes. I remember that scene, and I have a better fondness for that scene than I do any of the recent Ninja Turtle fight scenes in the last two Ninja Turtle movies.
Mm-hmm.
I can't even really remember much about. I really can't. You know what I remember from the first Ninja Turtle movie? They did hippity hop to beat the Shredder. That's pretty much the only thing I remember from any of the fight scenes in the last two movies.
Yeah. I mean, I can't argue that at all. I mean, it's yeah. I mean, basically, so you mentioned the Comic Book Resources article. A lot of what he talks about is respecting the source material.
Exactly.
And I think that's what everybody wants. I really think
don't make them big, hulking, Shrek-looking guys. Make them tiny, because that's what they were. In the cartoons, they were only supposed to be 4 feet tall.
Yeah.
Right? They were 4 feet or 5 feet. Either way, it's still short.
Yeah. Shorter.
You know, even for me. Even for me.
If they want to do something like where, you know, Hugh Jackman's Wolverine was taller than Wolverine was in the comics, but he wasn't, 7 feet tall.
Exactly.
He was just the size of a normal dude. He wasn't, roid raging.
And I'll tell you what, Paramount, don't be afraid to do this. Don't be afraid to go this way. These rated R comic book movies are doing pretty well for themselves.
Oh, yeah, they sure are.
Just saying. Like,
okay, so
Deadpool is funny and violent.
Yeah.
Turtles could
definitely
be the same thing. Don't be afraid.
I actually brought that up at work today. I was talking to a coworker, Dave. If you're listening, that's you. In that, so what I said was, so Rise of the TMNT is going young, like real young demographic. So what if, to keep the balance, they do the new movie as older demographic? And to which his response was, or they just make the third movie as young demographic as well. And then I was like, you've just crushed my dreams. So thank you.
Because he's right, though, and that's what sucks.
That could totally happen. That's
why I keep saying Netflix, because if it'll happen, I feel like it's more likely to happen on Netflix.
Yeah. So I think that is something that we definitely need to be aware of, is that we can hope as much as we want and what we want this movie to be, what we want hopefully this amazing film to be. We can stay positive, and we can, I think that the majority of Turtle fans know what kind of movie that this needs to be. What we end up getting, it could be something totally different.
Well, I like how this Comic Book Resources article brings up that, like, the Foot Clan should only be there if it has fight choreography on par with the Raid, which, oh my God, have you seen those movies?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yep.
The Raid Redemption and the Raid 2, oh my God, I'm just imagining like a Ninja Turtle movie with that type of choreography where and like I said, don't be afraid to do it. Hey, maybe Leo, I don't know. Maybe Raph, I don't know, actually stab somebody with their incredibly sharp weapons.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Okay, I'm going to put this to you. Do you want live action or CG Turtles?
I want the Muppets, man. I want the Jim Henson Turtles back, man, or something like. I don't want CG. I would prefer.
Okay, what about hybrid? Practical. What about like a hybrid like they did in Pirates, where they would have a body with a CG face?
Well, isn't that kind of what they did in the first movie? They had these giant hulking shells the actors had to wear.
Yeah, but it was still all black and white, with little dots all over them.
Have you seen what Davy Jones's crew looks like without all the CG? They don't even have pirate clothes on.
Yeah.
I mean, I could go for a hybrid, I guess, in terms of the practical effects on Bootstrap Bill were pretty cool.
Bootstraps.
Yeah, exactly. Or just I would prefer practical. We're getting to the point now where movies are so CG that it's like, I don't know, I feel like we're jaded by it now. It's like, that looks like crap, that looks like crap. And you know what? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
CG, because of
CG for CG's sake is not necessary.
Exactly. And it also, I feel like it ages faster. I feel like CG that's 2 years old looks worse than the Jim Henson Muppets did 28 years ago.
That's a good point. Because there's
a couple of outtakes where Raph or Leo's wires are hanging out of their shell, but whatever. That just adds to it. You know what I mean? That's like
adds to the realism.
That's just like it just adds to the lore of it. Of like, man, that's literally what these guys had to work with when they made that first movie. A movie that nobody wanted to produce. You know what I mean? This is literally what they had to work with. So who's the biggest name you have in your movie? Elias Koteas.
Let me ask you this question. Is any viewer of a Ninja Turtles movie going out there and saying, boy, I really hope that this movie cost $250 million to make?
No. God, no.
Absolutely
you know what?
not.
And maybe it's just because we grew up on that. We grew up on the low budget, like, oh my God, this movie only cost like $20 million to make. But they did what they could with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep. But
also, like,
go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, you go.
Well, okay, so like, all right, a lot of these big budget movies, like the Marvel movies that cost $200 million to make, it's because it's guys like Iron Man who are multi-billionaires living in a fancy mansion and are flying all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
Bruce Wayne, Batman, he's a rich dude living in a fancy house. Like the Turtles live in sewers and they fight in darkness. How much special effects do you need?
Yeah.
We don't need to, we're not X-Men shooting lasers or electricity.
Yeah, that's a very good point, right? Yeah.
To fight in darkness and live in the sewers.
That's a very good point. Yep.
I feel like you could do so much more with less.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like I feel a brilliant director could do more than a producer that's just going to throw money at it.
Yeah. Yeah, the last two,
especially with choreography.
The last two films were perfect examples of let's just throw money at the problem. That was both of those movies were perfect examples of that. So, yeah, we'll see. There's no date or anything set for this, right? There's nothing.
Yeah, it's not even there's not even a script or anything. It's like, hey, we're playing in this movie. We got the guy who wrote Bad Words with Jason Bateman, that movie that I never saw, so I can't tell you if he's a good writer or not. But it's a comedy. Like that's the thing. They're like, oh, he's a comedy writer, and it's like I don't like that. I don't want that. I want emotion. That's not comedy. Like. You go back to the first movie, to me, the most emotional inducing scenes are when they're meditating around the campfire and Splinter literally thinks he's about to die. So these are the last words I'm going to say to you. Raph gets thrown through a ceiling after getting the shit beat out of him by the Foot. And when they come home and they realize Splinter's gone and Raph screams, those are the three most emotionally inducing moments. Yeah, there's funny moments, but that movie, that movie could also make you cry with how legitimately sad it would get as well.
Yeah. Now I know that this doesn't probably this probably does not. This might be an apples to oranges kind of situation, but that Bad Words movie, the entire production was $10 million. So, I know it's a totally different movie. It's a totally different, type of story and everything like that. But, that was a very, very low budget film. So,
right.
And I know he has nothing to do with the production itself. He's just the writer. But we'll see. We shall see.
All right, let's get on with it.
Yep. Yeah, we'll be so for all of our listeners, yeah, I know, right? Well, that's the thing, right? And as much as the animated series, made us Turtles fans, when we were kids, it was those movies. It was those movies that really I don't know. They were so high quality, especially the first one. I mean, even the second one is, as much as they kiddified the second film, the 91, it was
Secret of the Ooze.
Yeah, it was. We were kids at the time, so it didn't matter. It was
But I remember being a kid, seeing the second movie, and being, like, legitimately terrified by Toka and Razar.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Like, legitimately terrified.
Yeah. Absolutely. So for all of our listeners, obviously, we will be keeping you up to date with any updates on the development of this hopefully amazing film. Please keep all your toes and fingers crossed for this one. we're hoping for a good one here.
We might have to call Kevin up and be like, Kevin, can me or Ryan please just stand next to you while you tell them what you want the movie to be, just so we can be like, actually, Kevin, it'd be really awesome.
I saw so many people, friends of ours on Twitter, that were reaching out to Paramount to be like, hey, just so you know, like, we're here. Let us know if you need some help.
No, exactly. Let us know. We could come up with the greatest Ninja Turtle movie ever written. Like, you guys come up with the story, and we'll tell you what you should do with it.
Yeah. Boy, that would be something if they got all of us involved. But
doubt it. That'll never happen.
Yeah, highly doubt that. All right.
Our best bet would be Kevin. Really, just
yeah,
hey, Kevin. Kevin.
That would be a good question. I don't know how.
Kevin, have you watched The Raid Redemption? Have you watched that?
He has. I think he has. See, that's the weird thing too, though, because The Raid was supposed to be an influence on that 2014 movie, and
it wasn't.
And then it just wasn't. Let's get on to some mutated messages, huh?
Sounds weird when he says it.
Sounds weird when you say it.
So
that's a new song for that?
Yeah. So one of our listeners, he took some exception to some of the things that you and Alex were talking about, hating on Raph a little bit. Specifically on the.
I don't mean to. It's just he's so easy to hate on. It's like, my God.
Well, it was specifically during our conversation about Raphael as leader.
Okay.
And so this was Be Sensible, Please. That was his name. So, yeah.
Okay,
so
I'll be sensible. Yeah. Oh, I thought you were telling me to be sensible.
Yeah, so, he just took some offense to what you and Alex were hating on Raph a little bit. So I tried to say, it's, we, I know you guys like to give me a hard time because Raph's my dude, but the Juicy Jedi does say that they always want to find something to hate on. So I assume that's reference to but it's probably more just Alex.
Well, it's not that we want to find something to hate on. Believe me, I would love to go an entire episode and just be like, holy crap, this is amazing. Yeah, wow, this is great.
Yeah.
Everything is fantastic.
Yeah.
But I just can't.
Yeah. The comics are fantastic. That video game is fantastic. Collecting is pretty good still, if people can actually get their hands on them.
Video game is fantastic.
Yeah. Obviously we just got out of a fantastic TV series. We're going into a new one. We'll see how it is. But that, the next Turtles series will turn into an amazing series. And then, we're going into another movie here. So, we'll see what goes on with this one. The last ones were not the best. They were, not our favorites. But there's hope for going forward. So, but yeah. So anyway.
So he's okay. I'm reading some of these messages. So he's upset that he says the only time Raph panicked was in the 2012 series. That was the only time. I guess the show did destroy one of the best attributes of the character. Raph only roadblock was his anger. He shares great leadership qualities as well. Why can't people see that? You know why people can't see that? You know why? I mean, I remember Splinter even told Raph, I think it was in the first movie, like, yeah, you have the great qualities to be a leader, but he is too hot-headed. That's, it's like, that's the thing. He's way too hot-headed. And also, I have it on good authority. I've seen it in comics themselves where Leo gets captured and Raph is like, cool, Donnie, you're in charge now. Like, we need a plan. Donnie, what do we do? What do we do? Donnie, what's up? Like, I've seen it. And after watching these, some of these videos or behind the scenes on Rise of the TMNT, it looks like they say it's called Rise of the TMNT because it happens before Shredder. Right. Before Shredder, before the Foot Clan. So Raph is the leader. And according to these people, the only reason Raph is a self-appointed leader because he's the biggest and the strongest. Which, to me, doesn't make you a great leader. You appointed yourself because you are the biggest and the strongest. That doesn't make you a good leader.
I'm following.
Maybe he sent those messages before those videos ever came out. But
it
doesn't make it good.
So let's expand on that, right? So if this is a kid-centric series, do kids still play on playgrounds at school? Is that still a thing? Are kids not allowed to go on playgrounds anymore?
Our playground got demolished like years ago.
Yeah, I know. Playworks, rest in peace. Or rest in pieces. So let's go back then. You might say that whoever's the biggest and the strongest on the playground is the guy that's in charge.
No.
No?
No. Ryan, as the guy who always felt he was in charge, even though I was much smaller than most people, I'm going to have to say no.
Well, I wouldn't. I was the tallest. I was the tallest, but I wouldn't say I was the biggest or the strongest.
Probably not.
Yeah.
Oh, we scrapped a lot. We were kids. Who cares? But here's the thing. I'm gonna tell you right now.
I'm just saying in terms of like, you know, like a bully or something like that. You know.
Oh, that's fine. But what I'm saying is, in terms of a team leader.
Yeah.
Okay, The Avengers, great movie, right? Great movie. It's built up this entire movie franchise that Marvel and Disney have been doing. Iron Man, he can fly.
The Hulk's in charge, right?
Powerful. Yeah, the Hulk's in charge, right? Totally. Hulk's in charge. Or Thor. Thor's in charge, right? No. There's Hulk, there's Thor, there's Iron Man, and all these aliens show up, and what does Iron Man say? He says, "Call it, Cap." That's what he says. Yeah. That is the line, and I always tell people that line every time. They're like, "Why is Captain America so great?" It's like, because Iron Man looked at him and said, "Call it, Cap." And Cap literally just goes, "Okay, this is the plan. I didn't realize I was the leader, but you are making me the leader right now, and I'm going to do it."
Yeah.
So, see, that's the thing. Be Sensible says, do they realize leadership is only a position? It doesn't define who Leo is. No, it kind of does. Considering every single theme song, they've said Leonardo leads.
Raphael. He's leader of the group transformed by the nuclear group.
That's not a theme song. That's not a theme song.
It's our theme song.
And actually, doesn't matter.
That's a good point.
I knew you were going to go there too. I knew you were going to go
that's
there.
Okay.
But no, it kind of defines who Leo is.
Yeah.
It's like the whole reason Leo and Raph clash so much as they do is because Leonardo's the leader and Raph resents that.
That is a major plot point throughout Turtles history.
Donatello was the leader, it'd probably be Raph and Donnie clashing a lot.
Yeah, because Raphael does not like authority over him.
Yeah, exactly. But he needs it from time to time.
Yes,
That's
he
a
does.
fact. But I'm saying, be sensible. I get what you're saying, but no, it doesn't define who Leo is. In every aspect of Leo, it kind of does. It defines, like, yeah, you can still have a personality, but if you're a true leader, that still defines kind of who you are.
You know, I never really thought about it, but Captain America, Leonardo, Raphael's the Hulk. Yeah. Donatello's Iron Man. So does that mean Thor is Mikey?
No, there's no Mikey.
There's no Mikey.
You could say Hawkeye maybe, but that's even kind of weird. But no, that's the thing. Like, it defines who he is. I'm so, like, yeah, no, Captain America would be the closest to Leo.
Maybe Raphael's Thor.
Huh?
Maybe Raphael's Thor.
No, he'd be Hulk. Hulk smash.
Yeah.
I'm angry. Hulk smash.
Yeah.
That's my secret cap. I'm always angry.
Yeah.
No, he's Raph.
Yeah, that's true. Even though he's the doctor, even though he's the scientist, that Bruce Banner is not really. Bruce Banner's character does not really matter.
Look, as much as I'd love to read an entire comic book issue where Bruce Banner never once turns into the Hulk, okay, get right on that. I'll bet that's a hot selling ticket. Like, come on.
I actually have the green Thor versus the gray Thor. I have that down here somewhere.
The green Hulk versus the gray Hulk.
Or green. Yeah.
Well done, sir. But anyway, look, it doesn't define who Leo is. When you're a true leader, it kind of defines who you are.
Yeah.
Like Jack Sparrow, he was a leader. Like, so was Barbossa. That's why Barbossa overthrew him. It's like
it's personalities. It's personalities. It's the whole type A personality kind of situation.
That certain Meyer test.
Yeah.
Like it's that whole thing.
Yeah.
And leadership is a legit quality in a person. It's not only a position.
Yeah.
I can tell you right now, I have bosses at work, but if the zombie apocalypse ever goes down, I'm not following them into the zombie apocalypse.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I think we've discussed this thoroughly. I think it's just it's a personality thing. Certain characters are designed to be leaders more so than others, just based on their personality, and there's nothing wrong with that. This is we got a message from Dan Furr, and on Twitter, Dan Furr, Furr. He sent us a picture. It says "Heroes in a Half Shell," and it looks like he's reading the looks like early Mirage, but this is one of the colored ones where all the black and white pages have been colored in. So this is where Master Splinter gets taken.
It's where they get back to the lair.
Yeah, they get back to the lair, and all the dead mousers are everywhere. Yeah. So it's pretty nice.
Like I said,
I like
very
the colored
emotionally
ones.
inducing part of the movie, and it wasn't even comical.
Yeah. Let's see what else we got here. We got Samuel Santana at Samuel Santana on Twitter. Sent us
it's at _Samuel_Santana.
Yes. Good point. It sent us this very nice mural that I assume he either bought or he made. I'm not sure. There's a signature down there in the bottom left, but I can't make it out.
Right.
But it's in the style of like an old Japanese mural of like the long vertical slices. And so there's one of Splinter, one of each of the turtles, all with red bandanas, and one of Shredder at the end. So it's very nice.
And notice how there's blood splatter in every single one of these panels.
Oh,
we're ready. We're ready for a rated R Ninja Turtle movie.
The Splinter on the left, he's very reminiscent of the 2007 Splinter. Notice that. Very reminiscent of the 2007 TMNT Splinter.
Which I was a big fan of. Mako, rest in peace.
Yeah. The Death Cats on YouTube says, biggest mistake the producers did was letting Stephen Barron go after the original 1990 film. He, by far, had the best vision of TMNT. Part 2 was good, but tamed down, and 3 sucked. Yeah, well. 3, I would say you and I and Alex, we all saw 3 with child-tinted glasses,
I fully acknowledge it's a horrible movie, but I'll fight for it.
Yeah, because we grew up with it, and we have unrational.
I had the samurai toys. I thought they were awesome.
Yeah. I got all 4 of the samurai turtles. I got the horse with the dude riding the horse, all with the samurai gear and everything. Yeah. I think that's gonna do it for this episode of the Turtle Power Podcast.
Nice.
So I've been doing some research, and I've got a whole bunch of new songs for Song of the Show. So, but this one we're going to do for this episode is actually a brand new one. It was just released by Nickelodeon, and it is now we've mentioned it in the past, and I think we may have played like a live version of it or something. But it's basically it's the Ice Cream Kitty song by Greg Sipes, and they just released the whole music video of it. I think they originally released the music video as like a DVD extra on one of their random dumb DVDs, not Blu-rays. And that'll never stop hurting. So they've released it now on Facebook and on YouTube, I think, as well. And so we'll.
I can't wait for Blu-ray players to die, so then you can finally get the Ninja Turtles on Blu-ray.
Yeah, then it'll. Oh, that would happen. That would definitely.
Of course, it'll happen.
Yeah. So, This was another fantastic episode of the Turtle Power Podcast. What do you think?
I thought it was all right. I miss Alex, though.
We always miss Alex, yes, and hopefully his cotton balls in his mouth are taking care of his tooth extraction.
Or whatever balls he has in his mouth.
Oh goodness gracious! He's talking about meatballs. He's
had to do that
had
while
some
he wasn't
Italian.
here.
No, he's got Italian. He's having Italian dinner tonight. Yep.
Sure.
Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in to the Turtle Power Podcast. Once again, closing out the show will be Ice Cream Kitty by Greg Sipes and the crew over at Nickelodeon's TMNT. Darby, thanks as always for joining me.
Hey, it's what I do.
And we will talk to you next time.
Bossa Nova.
When it's hot outside and I need something cool, I can always depend on you, my ice cream kitty. The purr, the fur, the whiskered one. My kitty that lives away from the sun. To nap in my lap she likes the best. Right there, vanilla hair, she lives in the ice chest. Ice cream, you scream, we all scream for kitty. Ice cream, you scream, we all scream for kitty. Ice cream, you scream, we all scream for kitty. Ice cream, you scream, we all scream for kitty. Me and my kitty, 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 me and my kitty.
So it was like a callback to when they did Secret Agent Dawn for the Playmates toys for the 87 series.
Yeah, except this was the fast forward version. And
the what now?
Yeah, it was when the 2K3 Turtles went into the future for 2 seasons.
No. The show ended with them going into the future.
No. They went there and then they came back.
Like they went to the future. No. They were like, "Hey, we're going to the future," and then they accidentally wound up in the 1987 world, and Turtles Forever happened, and that's how the whole series ended. Yeah.
Okay, how about this? Pretend like the 2003 series had 2 whole seasons where they were in the future. And there was like Casey Jones's like grandson, and he had basically this big droid that was named Sterling. Anyway,
that sounds horrible. It's a good thing that never happened.
Hey guys, make sure to check us out on our official website, www.TurtlePowerPodcast.com.
Also, follow us on Twitter at TMNT Podcast.
You can follow me, Ryan, at FigDonPat.
Follow me, Alex, at arodriguez2005.
Follow me, Darby, at Darby T. Patton.
Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/TurtlePowerPodcast.
Make sure to subscribe on our YouTube channel at www.youtube.com/TurtlePowerPodcast.
Also share your feedback with us via old-fashioned email, turtlepowerpodcast@gmail.com.
Subscribe and rate us on iTunes.
And don't forget to subscribe and listen on Stitcher.
This program is powered by Tascam. Tascam's Mini Studio Creator US42 is your new personal production and online broadcast studio featuring a professional quality audio interface and a number of unique real-time effects. The Mini Studio Creator delivers everything you need for your podcast or webcast. Find out more at Tascam.com, part of the Gibson family of brands.